Greetings, my fellow unicorns. I'm Jolene. Welcome to Jolene Sparkles. Today we're going to continue our series on Dyson Sphere program. I'm running a little bit late today, and what a shock, it happens. Hey, it takes more than like 30 seconds to get ready for
my
this.
fellow unicorns.
Oops,
I'm Jolene.
hold on one
Welcome to
second.
Jolene
I have
Sparkles.
an echo going
Today
on
we're gonna
here.
continue
Crap,
our
crap,
series
crap.
on Dyson.
There we go. That was a total accident. Sorry I did that one again. That's because I somehow had the stream in the background somehow. I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. All right. So let me grab my list of some of the things that I worked on this week. While hold on, let me switch this over to that. There we go. Cool. Excellent. Okay. So some of the things that I worked on this week after my last stream was. Oh, thank you so much, Brittany. My lovely assistant, Brittany, came by and dropped me off some water. Thank you so much. So, okay. So I deployed some more solar cells to both planets. So currently we are on our main planet here, and we are deployed over to our other planet, which is like the lava planet, which is near our, it's the one that's closer to the sun. Excuse me. I got some logistics set up for yellow science, which is going. Let's see here. We are bringing our logistics over to. See, this is where we're producing it over here, and then you can see some of these logistics. Planes, jets, cargo ships, whatever you want to call them. Kind of picking them up over here. And they're flying it over to where our actual science is, which is all the way over here. And you will also notice that I have some interplanetary logistics finally going. It was something I was originally going to do during the stream, kind of get that set up. But to be honest with you, it's not really that particularly exciting to just see me just take an item and drop it into the slot right here, which is the logistics vessels that kind of go flying back and forth. But the problem was that I needed a lot more resources being brought back to this planet to start, some of my next setup, which I'm going to get into now. So let's see. I started bringing some copper in through the remote logistics. So I set up a little bit of copper smelting out on the other planets. I have started the microline crystal, started the microline crystal component manufacturing, which is right here, and you can see that it takes some high purity silicon and some copper ingots. And so those are being processed by all these machines here. And you can see that with a lot of my newer setup, I'm adding a lot more assemblers, a lot more machines. Some of these might get a little bit behind because, like, for example, right here, with the processors, which is another thing that I set up, this belt is going a little slow, and that's mostly because we need to build a lot more of these microline crystal. Oh god, that name is just way too long. They gotta come up with a shortened name for that. Like, I don't know, just call them transistors, because that's what they really look like, is transistors, which I assume that's where they're going with that. And then we set up a little bit of processor production over here. And you can see that the microline crystal components are definitely the core thing that's slowing me down right now. But the reason those are not being produced quick enough is because we need a lot more of this high purity silicon. And that's going to be one of the first things we're going to work on today, is getting a little bit more of that production up and going. You can see that we now have a lot more of the circuit board production going. That's also required as part of our circuits. And let's see, sorter capacity. I wrote that down and I don't remember what that was about. Oh well. I did sorter capacity. Whatever that means, I don't remember. So you'll see that this little setup's kind of a weird one, and there's reasons for this. So you'll notice that I have the microline crystal, micro crystalline component. Oh god, I'm just going to come up with a stupider name for these. MCCs, the transistors. I'm just going to call them transistors. So the transistors, or whatever you want to call them, they kind of come in here and then they kind of come right back out. And you're like, well, why did you put them through here to begin with? Well, the reason that we're going to do that is because this will also be a supply to additional areas. So if I, move my processor production somewhere else, that means that we'll be able to just, have this logistics pick it up and kind of use it. Same thing with the circuit boards. These circuit boards are being manufactured, dropped in here. They're being used right away, but we can somewhere else set up something that also needs to use the circuit boards, and they can automatically start requesting from here, like no problem. But yeah, right now, high purity silicon is a bit of an issue. And over on that other planet, which we now have some, some logistics vessels that are flying back and forth to that planet over here, we have 1 million silicon ore over here, which isn't bad. I mean, that's just still a pretty good amount there. However, running into a little bit of a problem that there are 10 of these logistics vessels here, and there's 10 on the remote planet. There's only 2 veins on the remote planet, so it's going to become very difficult to try to, really fully utilize these logistics vessels, because you can only put 10 in an interstellar logistics station. And at the current level of research that we're doing, oh, now I remember what the sorter capacity was. It's part of my research, which was something I was just going to mention. So this is the research that I had unlocked, which is the sorter stacking capacity. There we go. That makes a lot more sense now. It was just one of those. I was a little bit, there's a couple of areas that I just really needed it to go a little bit faster, and I was like, all right, screw it, whatever. I'll do it off stream. And some of the other research that I did was I increased our logistics carrier capacity, because I was also, again, running into a little bit of an issue that I was not able to bring enough of those resources back and forth at a time. And you can see at the lower levels, I had to increase it by 100. There's one more here that could be also one more 100, or another 100, I should say. I'm going to kick off the 20% faster logistics drones. I don't know if that actually carries towards to the vessels as well, or it's... Oh, no, sorry. No, this is only for the drones, because you can see that, 20% logistics drone flight speed, and then it becomes 50% logistics vessel navigation speed. So we're going to kick off one of those, let that just kind of go through, do its magic, and you can see how fast my research is going. And you might be asking yourself, or you might not be, and if you're not, then, well, that's okay. But you might be asking yourself, hey, how is your research going so damn fast? Look at that. Well, that's because of look at all these damn science, setup I have here. And that's another thing that I did. This used to be a little bit of a giant mess over here. There was a bunch of things kind of weaving in and out all over the place. So what I did was I started setting up a little bit better of a setup. And we now have 4 stacks of these to be able to go through and just research all at once. That means research can go through very, very fast. Now, in one of my other games, I have probably triple this number. I'm not even kidding you. I have triple this number. And we're going to expand these out even further. I guess you could sit there and say, well, why would you not just I don't know, just research along instead of just having everything go really, really fast? Well, remember, towards the end of this game, that's where you start getting into things that are infinite. Where right here, you can see that each of these levels just goes up and up and up. You're going to get to level 7, then level 8, then level 12, just like Factorio does. And that requires these white universe, or white science, which is the, I forget what they call this. Is that universe matrix? Okay, that's a silly name for it. But there's a lot of things we have to do in order to get those. So you can see that we're going to need a lot of these things. And that's okay. So it's not like we're not going to use them. But what we will do is also go ahead and let's increase our capacity just a little bit more. So that'll mean that 100 of these will be coming back. 100 additional will be coming through. And you can see that this is the interplanetary logistics vessels. And you can see how they land. They kind of come down like that. And they take off and all that fun stuff. And then they land and they kind of drop on the, this little area here. But now adding that 100 additional capacity will make a pretty good difference. However, we just don't have enough capacity here to really handle this. Hi, Brittany, even though you're in the other room. Or you're in the same room, but you're on the other side of the room or something, or I don't know, whatever. Hi, Brittany. But yeah, so part of the problem is that there's only 2 veins there. So it's going to be really difficult to kind of scale it up so we can have more of these vessels coming in at once. And yeah, we could just do a lot of research and get these to go a lot faster, but there are limits to that. And it can only go up to a certain point before you just start hitting a just, where you have to have, there's only 2 veins there, so it's very difficult to kind of scale that out. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a new setup over on this other planet here, which is our ice planet. And I don't think that we've landed on this planet yet, but there's a little bit of iron, not much in the realm of copper, a lot of titanium, like a good amount of titanium and a pretty decent amount of silicon ore. You need a ton of silicon ore in this game. And the cool thing is that there is an ocean type of water, but like it's going to be like these little tiny patches here. It's not very big patches of water, but we could grab some water off that if we need to within our main planet and such. But beyond that, I mean, there's almost nothing for coal. Stone, there's almost nothing. So as far as resources go, there's not a whole ton besides the silicon ore, the titanium ore, and the iron ore that we're going to be getting off that planet. But I've already made up a couple of the things that we're going to need when we get there. We actually should grab a little bit more conveyor belts. We're going to need a lot of solar panels. Let's see here. I do have a lot of crap in my inventory right now that I probably don't need on me at the moment. I think I'm going to probably... Yeah, I guess I should probably take some of this stuff out. But at the same time, when we go to that planet, it's not just going to be a single trip there. We're going to have to go there, we're going to have to do some stuff, and then we'll be coming back to grab some more supplies and such. And then head back there and do some more things. But we have a bunch of miners, we have some storage, we have enough conveyor belts to kind of do a really, really basic setup just of the silicon ore. And yeah, but let's take out a little bit of this stuff that I have on me that we really don't need to bring with us. And I have this storage bin right here that we could take some stuff out and drop in there. Let's see, let's drop that in there. Yeah, we don't have to carry this with us. Yeah, we'll drop the circuits in there. Kind of trying to make room. I mean, we're not going to be doing any oil refining up there. We're not really going to do any chemical processing at this phase. I don't think there's anything to do any chemical processing there anyway. Bring a little bit of graphene with us. I don't know if there's anything I really need it for, but as you can see, I was building up a bunch of these assembly machine Mark IIs. I still have to automate that, and we're going to do that as part of our setup today. I've been really thirsty today. I've been drinking water like crazy. Not that that's ever a bad thing, trust me. Okay, so yeah, we don't have accumulators being automated yet, so like that, I don't think we'll be getting to that today, because that's definitely something that's a little bit more than we'll have time for today. But there we go. So let's start heading out that way. So we're going to take off, and I'm just trying to figure out where the heck that planet is. I wish there was a better way to do like waypoints and stuff, but there is not. It's probably... Okay, so there's number 1. There's that. Oh, there we go. Number 4. Ah, that was the one right there. Okay, got it. Just trying to get a little bit of speed to get out of the gravity influence of that planet. There we go. Cool. Not going to use a ton of fuel to get there a little bit faster. I mean, sometimes I would, but I want to conserve a little bit of energy for when we get there. But while this is going through, we're going to kick off a little bit more research. Let's see here. What do we want to kick off? Let's see. This will be really nice. This is faster recovery speed. And this will give us... Oh, wait, we can't do that one yet because it requires purple science. We're not there just yet. I should have done inventory capacity before we left. Oopsies. And let's see here. That's not really worth it yet. Oh, excuse me. Let's see here. Oh, we're still going. Solar cell life, we don't need that just yet. Still got a few things we need to do in order to get there. Vein utilization is probably not a bad idea. Oh wait, that requires purple. Can't do that. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if there is anything that's really worth it. This is not bad. It does make the drones a little bit faster. The little construction drones, which are really nice, making those a little bit faster. You know, 1 more meter a second movement speed. It's not bad, you know. Let's see here. That's going to require purple. That's probably good for now. We'll let that continue to research, and we're almost there. Let's see here. So what the goal is going to be is we're going to land on the planet. We're going to go to one of the poles and drop off some solar panels. And hopefully one of our silicon veins is nearby because there's a pretty decent amount of silicon there. So, it's possible there might be a vein towards the top, which would be ideal because then that means that we don't have to kind of run a whole ton of, wiring all over the place just to, get us what we need. There we go. We do have one towards the top, which is great. Yeah, it's right on the pole. That's perfect. And I did bring a little bit of this foundation with me, and that's because these snow planets have a really good amount of, you can see this right here. That's really good for getting soil. So normally I would start out a little bit further out with my ring of solar cells, but because I want to get some of that dirt, or that soil, I'm just going to drop those here so we can get a little bit. And you can see, these are worth like 3,000 or so. Yeah, I could drop some foundations and stuff, or I could just drop a bunch of different buildings and stuff just to get a bunch really quickly. But whatever. But we are going to make the rest of it a little bit further out. And once we get our Dyson swarm up and going, we'll be able to also set up some things to power some of this planet from the Dyson swarm itself. And the Dyson swarm itself is definitely a big thing that I want to get us to next. And that's going to be a big focus of tonight's show. I would really like to try to get that Dyson swarm up and going, even if it's not a full one, even if it's only a little bit of it. But we are so close. What we have to do is we have to get to producing those solar sails. The solar sails are these little, they're almost reflectors that you shoot off into space. And they just kind of hang out there. And they reflect the energy somehow back to the planet. And then you have this little receiver that just grabs in all that energy. Very, very straightforward. But they don't last very long. They definitely have a shelf life. They last for a certain period of time and then they die off. There are some things that you can do to upgrade those to make those better later. But the initial ones, they don't last super long. I think they're like 300 seconds or... Wait, let's see. There is a way to get our stats for those things. I know I saw it somewhere in here. It's not an inventory statistics panel, no. No, there is a way to show it, but I don't remember offhand. It's like there's a way to get a bunch of stats, but whatever. I'll look for it later. All right, so now that we have a little bit of our solar panels up and going, we will definitely need some accumulators later because as of right now, one of the problems that we have is that, whoops, that's not the right thing that I want. I want a miner. There we go. The problem is that, yes, at certain points of the day, at least half of this should be lit up, depending on the type of night it's in. But you can see that this particular planet has a pretty big tilt on it. And it actually looks like the southern part actually has a much wider part open, around the pole. So it probably would have been better to build it on the bottom, but it doesn't really matter that much because honestly, once this gets over to about here or so, it's going to completely change. Just like the planet Earth, between, winter and summer. So, yeah, not much else to say than that. All right, so just dropping down some more of these miners because we're going to want to drill up a lot of this pretty quickly. Then once we start mining this, we're going to set up some smelters just to immediately start grabbing some of this material. And one thing that will slow us down a little bit is when we drop down our... Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and drop that now. When we drop this interplanetary logistics thing, it's going to slow everything down. And that's because this thing has to be charged up. And it takes a crap load of energy to charge this thing up. So it's basically going to put everything really slow while this is building. But that's okay because it'll allow us to build some things out. And once it's up and going, essentially, then we can head back to the planet, work on some other things while this thing finishes up. And you can see that this thing just takes a ton of power. It's got to charge all the way up to, I think it's like 2 or 3 gigajoules. 6 gigajoules? I don't know. It's a lot, though. And each one of these logistics vessels also take a little bit of power when you drop them in place. But we're just going to let that just start charging up. Unfortunately, it also means that our mining machines are going to have no power for a little bit. But that's okay. We did grab a little bit of... we did let them do a little bit of mining before we just completely overwhelmed the power grid. And this is all kind of expected. One of the things that I do in my other game, there is this thing that we'll get. We don't have it yet, but it allows you to store energy in these accumulators and bring that stored energy with you in the accumulator, which is kind of cool. And, you know, we've used those accumulators in Factorio, so it's the exact same thing. They're basically a capacitor bank, essentially. So let's see, let's get this up and going. That thing will take forever to charge, and that's okay. You can see how it's barely moved at all. You know, we'll probably need some more solar panels, but because the other side of the planet is it's currently getting a little bit more solar, you know, getting a little bit more sun. You can see the intensity is 1% there, and the intensity here is like 24%. I guess we will have to run some solar panels down to the other pole, because otherwise this will just never complete. Let's see, there we go. Put that in there. And, okay. Now let's actually head to the other pole. We'll drop the rest of those panels down, and that will at least give us a little bit of power while we head over to the other season. And yes, you could probably hear my cat in the background. He's saying hi to everybody. Oops. Hold on a second. I still haven't had a chance to, oh, crap. Hold on one second. I gotta plug in this computer. It kind of went dead. I had one of the monitors on my desk go bad, and it finally kicked the bucket, and I got to get a new one. So for right now, I'm still using my other laptop for keeping an eye on the chat. And suddenly the screen went blank, and I'm like, okay, I can't see the chat. And yes, I do know that there is a way with OBS to have OBS like show like an in-game, or like show an overlay in-game. I've had problems getting it working though. I don't know why. I've tried it like a dozen times. I hit the button, it does nothing. So I haven't tried using it since then. Plus, I want to be able to keep an eye on the, you know, both YouTube and there we go, both YouTube and Twitch. I guess since we're talking about YouTube and Twitch, now's a good time to remind you that if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, follow, share it around, you know, the usual. It really helps. I'm, you know, starting to get a couple of random followers here and there, which is pretty nice, besides just bugging my friends to follow the show. I have somebody working on a logo right now for me. I have more details about that later. It's probably going to be a little while before that debuts, though. She's pretty busy, but she does some amazing artwork, and I really like her style, and that's why I reached out to her first. And but yeah, there's a couple of other things I have in the works for the stream itself. But yeah, kind of focusing on building the YouTube channel right now because I'm trying to get my custom name, which is 100 subscribers. You know, it doesn't seem like a lot, but that initial 100 subscribers is kind of rough. Had a lot of people recommend to me. They're like, "Hey, why don't you just buy some subscribers?" How about no? I am not gonna buy subscribers. That's not something I'm gonna do. Sorry. But yeah, as you can see that like the intensity here is at 58%. It is substantially better, but we're gonna have to bring back a lot of solar panels for this. And actually, since this side right here has a lot of this snow, you could see like 25,000. Oh, that was a 30 there somewhere. Where was that? I just saw a 30. I thought I did. Maybe not. Oh, those are 28. Okay, cool. But yeah, you just drop one of those foundations. You can see you just get a ton of that soil, which is great. And yeah, because we need that for the planet. Let's see here. Oh yeah, there's definitely some 28s. I like these frozen planets for this reason, because you could just get a ton of soil really, really fast. I don't know why they decided to do it that way, but hey, I'm not complaining. And this is why whenever I come to planets like this, I make sure that I bring a lot of... Ooh, that was a 31. The highest I've seen so far was like a 40-something. But that was in a completely different galaxy on a different game. Oh, that was a 40. Oh yeah, see, there you go, 40. See, can we... I wonder if I'll ever find a 50 or so. But yeah, that's why I love these planets. I bring a lot of foundations with me because, yeah, I mean... You could just drop some... you know, some regular foundations and, or, you know, some buildings and stuff and just, you know, reclaim them. But that just takes forever, and I don't have the time to do that anymore. And unless I just have limited resources where I forgot to bring it with me and I really need to bring the, you know, to get soil on the way back, I'm just not going to do it. But yeah, you can see 662,000 soil now. So it was super, super worth it to do that. So here's another 29, 28, 30, 31. There we go. Let's see here. Do we have any? I really want to try to beat a 40 one of these days. Okay, that's good for now. We'll get back to more. We'll waste the rest of our foundation before we leave this planet. Yeah, charging wise, still got a ways to go. So what I'm going to do is just drop as much of these as I can. Build them out. We'll let that thing charge up. We'll probably head back to the planet and get some more solar panels. I don't know if I'm going to have enough solar panels made. Like, I think I was actually out of silicon. Or the high purity silicon. Because it was not actually properly hooked up. It was just kind of a one-off that I had done just to kind of build a bunch of solar panels really quickly. But that's... you know, kind of the next evolution of things that we're going to be working on is trying to get those systems up and going a little bit better. But let's connect this in, and as you can see that those materials are just running really slow. Especially as I build out more of these, it's going to be even slower until that thing charges up. It would be great if there was a way to be able to say, like, okay, just, you know, charge this up on, you know, as very slowly as possible. But, you know, just by using the extra of what's available. But no, you can't. I mean, yeah, I could have built 2 separate power grids. I've done that in the past with one of my other save games. But it definitely reaches a point where it gets a little bit pain in the neck to deal with, you know. All right, so yeah, actually, yeah, it's a lot more than 2 or 3 gigajoules, like 1.2 gigajoules, and like the bar has barely moved. So yeah, it's gonna take a little while for that to go through. So we'll drop as many of these in place as we can, and then we'll just fly back to the planet because this thing's gonna take so long that it'll be faster to fly back to the planet, grab a bunch more solar panels, then come back and set the rest of them up, then wait. And in the past, I've actually like built them locally because I didn't feel like flying back to a different galaxy because I forgot to bring enough with me. But yeah, I really should have brought more with me. I wasn't really thinking all the way through on that. Oh well, it happens. And you know what? It'll happen constantly. It's just the fact of life. Just don't worry about it. Yeah, I mean, I definitely could move these over to the other parks. You can see we're barely getting, you know, 26% on those. So what I'm going to do is drop a just a storage container here. We're going to drop off a few things in here that we'll eventually need. And then we'll fly back and grab some more solar cells. Definitely going to want to drop these in there. And let's see, let's drop off a bunch of conveyor belts. We'll just pick up a ton more while we're there. And let's see here. Don't really need the Mark 1s. Those are just kind of a waste. Yeah, we'll leave all these here, those, and yeah, I guess we'll do some of that. And we'll just do a little bit of shopping while we're there. And if for some reason we don't bring back enough items, that's okay, because we'll just take the ones out that we left here. Which I know seems a little counterintuitive, but, you know, whatever. It is what it is. Okay, let's refill that a bit. And we will leave those here so we have a little bit of extra in the event that we run out. There was enough coal here if that comes, or if that happens. But let's see, I want to fly over here. And oh, this actually might be a really nice one right here. So you see how the snow kind of comes up? And that ends up giving us about 26. And then you come over here and then, oh yeah, 42. Nice, 42. There we go. And then we drop down, you know, two nice layers. But I want to use up the rest of this that I have to get up as much soil as I can. There was a 34, 30, 34. And you might have noticed I'm starting to use the lay foundation with no decoration. I always saw it there, and I just never really got around to just pushing that button. And I've started doing it now because it does look a lot nicer. When you just kind of have this little like patchwork here. Because when you like, you know, unclick, you can't even, I mean, you can kind of tell that there's a square there, but you don't really entirely know it's there. It's no big deal. It looks a little bit cleaner than just these random like little pieces here and there, you know. And I guess I'll just use up the last little bits that I have here. But yeah, you can see just, you know, by using one of those foundations, you know, I got 1 million soil now. So yeah, we're doing really good with the soil, even though I'll still bring back a lot more. All right, let's head back to our planet now, which should be, oh, right there. Perfect. Now, of course, those are going to take a little while to charge up. That's expected. Since we are heading back there, I will tell it to go ahead and caps out at 1 kilometer per second. And let's see here. Guess we'll kick off a little bit more research. More and more on the way. Ah, yes, ray receivers. This is something we're going to need. So we can just tell that thing to kick off now. The ray receiver is used for, that's what, you know, so you have these, which is the rail ejector. This ejects the solar cells out into, you know, around the sun. And this is what you use on your planet to actually absorb that energy. Let that kind of go through, and let's see what other things can we get that will be useful. Oh, I guess we should do inventory capacity, since we are kind of heading back to grab a bunch of crap. And yeah, I guess we'll do a second one too. That second one might not actually finish, which is okay. I mean, we kicked off a third one, but you know, that'll give us 3 or 4 extra lines. I wasn't actually counting how many of those I kicked off. I know I kicked off 3 of them, but I wasn't sure if any of those were 2s or not. But yeah, I guess we didn't have to do the ray receiver right now, but you know what, I did, so whatever. Flying back to the planet, almost there. Sorry if you hear that my water bottle making weird sounds from me sucking on it, but yeah, I know Brittany's giggity, I know. Oh yeah, so you can see that another thing I had set up was I had the logistics here set up. We're grabbing the titanium ingots from the interplanetary. The interplanetary is grabbing it from the other planet, dropping it off locally, and then this planetary logistics is requesting from it. So you can set these to demand, supply. There's a lot of, you know, kind of intricate, you know, things you can kind of set up with it. And this is good for this particular stage. And it's just going to keep producing these. It's got a maximum of, you know, I currently have it set to 5,000. So just This will keep filling it up until it's completely full. But on the other end, there's also a 5,000, so it'll take a really long time before this is full. But you can see that this is running a little bit slow right now because, yeah, because it's titanium. We just don't have enough titanium being shipped over. Part of that is that you can see these logistics drones are just going a little bit slow right now, but we'll upgrade those pretty soon. Kind of coming over here, it looks like, yeah, we actually do have a good number of those. Or we're going to have a good number of storage here, but you can see we only have 3 of these logistics drones. So that means that obviously it's going to be a lot slower trying to bring all of that material back and forth. And I actually know that we worked on some of these thrusters here. Still getting used to this new keyboard. It's growing on me. I was a little bit unsure at first, but it's definitely grown on me. But there we go. We could build a lot more of these without building the engines first. And this will help speed up bringing that titanium over there, which will help speed up our yellow science production. So drop another 4 in there, another 1 in here. And, I mean, this one we're going to basically put a lot of them in here because, you know, the interstellar logistics station are basically these little hubs that we use. And, you know, they pull from remote sources, other planets, intergalaxy or whatnot. They bring it locally, and then other stations can kind of come through and pick those up. But you can see that, you know, now that we have 15 of these, you can see that we have a lot more in transit now. The actual logistics drones, they can't carry a whole ton each time. You can see they only have a carrying capacity of 50. But my logistics vessels now have a carrying capacity of 400. Because we're producing a lot more, or because I had done the upgrades with those. But yeah, let's let that go through, and we'll do one more upgrade, I think. Let's see, can we do one more upgrade, or do we need purple science now? 20% logistics drone, and then it will be 50% logistics vessels. So I guess we'll kick off both of those, and then we'll hold off on doing any more upgrades for now. But yeah, you can see we have a lot more space. We have a lot more space to bring some crap. We are short on circuits here, so let's go ahead and fill this thing up with circuits, or circuit boards, I should say. We'll put a little bit more automation in here soon, because we want those solar cells to really start being created automatically. But for right now, we don't really have everything that we need to set that up. We don't want to get too sidetracked with that. As you can see, I'm just grabbing a whole bunch of conveyor belts, because now that we have the room on us, why not? Let's grab a little bit more of this energetic graphite, because we're going to leave a little bit on that planet too. And oh, it looks like our circuit boards are going a little bit slow. That's because we continue to do, you know, a lot of this blue science here. So it's kind of expected. But we can fly over here, and we are producing some green circuit boards over here. And I did... Oh, no, I forgot to set up a little box. I mean, you can see, like, I have a box here for this microcrystalline components. And we're going to do the same thing for our circuit boards. So we can just have a place that we can come over and just grab some one-off out of a container. And we'll just set up 2 of these things just to go through and just start grabbing a whole ton of those and fill it up really fast. And we can use that to create a lot more solar panels. So yeah, you should start seeing our logistics drones going a lot faster. You can actually see them going a lot faster now. Unfortunately, our research has definitely slowed down. This is kind of expected because we haven't produced enough of that yellow science yet to act as that buffer. And that's why as soon as we're done with this research, we're going to wait a little bit before we do any additional research. Okay, so let's just grab a little tiny bit more, and then we'll come back to that later and fill up some more. And then at some point real soon, actually let's grab some of this, because I know that we need this for the solar cells as well. I'll also grab that while we're here. It's too easy to hit escape in this game. But yeah, see, this is why I grabbed that stuff, because I had a feeling we were going to need that. And yeah, we're out of copper, which I also expected as well. And here's our copper. You know, we get back to this planet after we, you know, maybe we will actually just automate that now, because, you know, setting these up is kind of a pain in the ass. Like bringing all this crap over here. But yeah, this should be enough to produce a good number of these for a little while. But yeah, we only have 12 of them being made right now. So we're going to pick up some more green circuit boards. There we go. That's a whole ton of them. Excellent. I don't know why I did a sort on that. That was really pointless. Oh yeah, I need to grab some smelters. I need to grab a bunch of stuff from my mall in general. Let's see here. Let's grab some of this storage. We have enough of those larger storages. Grab some of the smelters. We'll grab 2 miners. Grab, let's see. We have enough of this 4-way, but we'll just kind of top ourselves off. Top ourselves off on this these Tesla towers. Same thing with these, what the hell they call these? These are the wireless power tower. It's a weird name, but okay. Let's see here. What else we need to grab some of these sorters while we're here. I use a lot of these, the Mark II sorters, so. Let's see, what are we running resources? Yeah, so motors are going to be something that I will be creating another outpost for, and we'll probably do that on one of our remote planets. That's actually something I started doing on my other game. I set up some outposts for creating things like the magnetic, what do they call these things? It's the magnetic coils for setting up the motors, for setting up these green motors too. And it helps quite a bit when you have kind of an outpost creating all this crap and dropping it off as needed. But there we go. At least I did a little bit of work over here, just kind of making these a little bit faster. These are still a little bit too slow, and that's because of our motors are really slow. We just don't have enough materials right now to do these motors. But that's something that we could potentially set up on the other planet. Okay, let's see. What else do we need before we head back to that planet? I definitely wanted to try to get more of these solar panels. I mean, that's 40 is a good amount. I was really hoping to try to get like 20 more of those. But I guess I'll just take a look around, see what else we can grab while we're here. Yeah, and unfortunately that's about it, but yeah, I really want to have another one of these. Oh, let's see. How much wind is there? I doubt there's really much wind on that planet. 58%. So yeah, it's not very windy, but I mean, we could set up a couple of those as renewable energy. At least wind does operate, 24/7. So we'll grab 2 of those and grab whatever solar panels are in here, and then now let's head back to that planet. So yeah, we'll be doing a little kind of back and forth. Let's see. Come on, take off, take off. There we go. And there's the planet. It's right in range. And yes, I'm going to just let it run all the way up to the 1K. There we go. And let's see what kind of research we can do for that. Oh, looks like we're really kind of behind on research items right now, so we really can't do any more research. But I would like to get our total mech core energy up a little bit, but we need purple science. So we can't do that, unfortunately. You can see we can't speed up the recovery speed because we need to get the next level, which is Mecha Core 4, but we need purple science for that. That's okay, so we'll just let that go. We'll let that finish. That will be a pretty decent upgrade compared to where we were at the end of last episode. Like I said, I'm really thirsty today. I don't know why. All this talking, definitely have to make sure you lubricate the Vocal cords. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, when we get the 2 kilometer a second sail speed, it does, you know, speed things up a little bit faster, but you also have to have a much larger fuel chamber capacity, or else the recharge just takes forever. Almost there. But yeah, of course, this planet's also a little bit further out than the other planet. It's a significant difference compared to that other one. Plus, the other one's kind of heading through the center. This one's heading towards the outside, so there'll be periods where it'll actually even be longer to kind of go back and forth. But that's why we're going to set up as much as we can, let this thing do its work, and then we can go off and do other things. Heading to the southern pole now, so we can drop... Was it southern pole? Was that southern pole? Let's see. Sorry, northern pole. We're heading over to the northern pole, which is where the light seems to be a little bit more, you know, hitting right now, but that's because we're currently in the northern zone, or summer zone. For some reason, I mean, saying polar day, what does polar day mean? I mean, does that mean that, like, there's always going to be, like, sun at this particular pole? Maybe is that what that was showing? I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't really checked to see if that number changes depending on where you move. Oh, yeah, it does. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, yeah. So you can see, yeah, summer zone, and then, oh, okay, so that just shows you, like, so we're going to be in polar day for another, like, 30 minutes? 20 minutes? Yeah, like 20 minutes. Yeah, about 30 minutes, give or take. So let's see, 1 hour is 3,600 seconds, so yeah. Okay, so yeah, for a bit, you know, it depends on where you are on this, but certain parts of this will have almost an hour before it switches over to being polar night, which is where our other area is currently at. And that should help us a little bit more. You can see that thing is still charging because we're only at 32% right now, but we're going to drop the rest of these solar panels, which will be good because we're going to need that power anyway. And then once that thing is charged up, I mean, it'll have to charge up the logistics vessels when they dock. And we'll also have to power up all those smelters and such. So it's not like this power is going to go to waste. For the most part, I mean, there will be points where it kind of does go a little bit to waste, but right now it should be okay. And we're going to drop a bunch of these. Let's go ahead and drop them over here. This way we can get a little bit more of that soil while we're dropping these. I know it's a weird way to do this, but it works. I mean, it's not a lot of soil. I mean, each time I drop these, I'm only getting like 3K soil, but hey, I'll take it. Yeah, I mean, we've got 1.9 million soil, so I think we're okay on soil right now. But trust me, this soil goes really fast, especially if you find a oceanic planet. Let me tell you, oh my god, I saw my first oceanic planet recently in the main game that I'm having, because remember, like, I started off one game, and then I was doing this stream as well, which, you know, had this game, and then on top of that, you know, I was playing another game as well, and I had to restart from the beginning. I mean, I could have kept going with it, but I wanted to kind of experiment with doing it all over again to see if I can get it going faster, and I learned a lot of tricks along the way, so I thought it was really worth it. I mean, honestly, when it comes down to this game, you don't have to race. Take your time with it. You'll have a lot more fun. There's no reason to race. Of course, you really want to get to that next science. I know these grids are not lining up. I don't really care that much. I mean, they're wind turbines. I'm just trying to get them as close together as I can. We're not going to be looking at these very often because we're not going to be coming to this planet very often. This planet's going to be about, you know, grabbing as much resources as we can off of it and smelting on it, and that's pretty much it. I mean, maybe we'll use it as an outpost later, but we're kind of ways away from that. Yeah, I'm just trying to get these as close together as I can to grab as much of that soil as we can. Only got a few more of these to drop, but that will give us a little bit more power, which is good. I mean, solar gives us a little bit more than wind, but at least wind does not require it to be in the sun in any particular, stage or whatnot. Okay, yeah, we've hit 100% satisfaction on that. Yes. I forgot to pick up foundations while we're there, but no big deal. We don't really need to pick up more of this soil right now. I think we're okay. But if I do need to grab a bunch of soil, I'll just grab a bunch of foundations, come here, pick it up, and then run back. But there we go. Yeah, this wasn't producing because I did sort of forget to select the recipe, which really sucks because I did all those copy pastes and I forgot to select that. Oopsies. I blame Brittany. She's not listening. Well, she might be. I think she's in the other room watching. I don't know. I know she was doing some paperwork and stuff, so she's kind of busy tonight. She couldn't join the stream, but you never know. I can maybe get her on another night. I heard her say something. I don't know what she said. She said something about I'm not listening, but I had my headphones on, so I can't really hear what she said. All right, so I think we need to set up a few more of these miners to speed up this mining a little bit more, because you can see we definitely need a lot of mining. Let's see, did I bring, oh crap, I didn't. I meant to bring a planetary logistics so we can set up some additional planetary logistics to, oh, this one's not too far away. We can set up one more. Yeah, we can set up yeah, we could just kind of run some conveyor belts, but when we have them all the way down here and such, like, I'm just going to set up some planetary logistics to bring all of that additional silicon up to this place, and this will be our central kind of miner. Oh, it looks like I didn't even connect this one. Oopsies. Sorry, our central smelting system. This way, when we're done with that one, we just tear it down and move it somewhere else. And we don't have to tear down the smelting, which is just much more of a pain in the ass to do. Yeah, I mean, I could use another one of these, but we just don't have it with us, so it's no big deal. But now let's go ahead and see where that is on the planet. Okay, so it's going to kind of come down here. All right, so let's head over there. We can actually, let's grab, we'll just copy that, and then when we get over to this, we'll just kind of bring it to that direction there. I really wish there was a compass while you're in this point right here, because it's kind of hard to see, like, what's north south, what's what, because it doesn't show the poles, doesn't show anything here. I'm sure that's something they'll add at some point. And I'm sure based on latitude, longitude numbers, like, I could probably figure it out, but I'm way, 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 way too lazy to do that. So Brittany types in chat. Naya sticking tongues out. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I probably didn't, but that's right. She'll just set me on fire later for it. And she would be completely right for it. All right, so connecting up this one. Let's see. We'll try to get as many of these hit as we can. And this way, we should only need to run one line up there. I mean, these are not the fastest belts, but the reality is that, yeah, we're getting some overlaps on these, but it's not really that much of an overlap. Sometimes you have to have several of these if you want it to... oh, wow, that didn't connect. I definitely saw some memes on Facebook today, or not Facebook, on... I don't look at Facebook anymore. We definitely have some memes for... or I saw some memes on Reddit about having multiple miners interacting with a single node, and there was definitely some adult content references being used in it, and it was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. but I'm not going to be showing that on this stream. I actually don't have the ability to really show images currently in it. That is something I do have to get set up at one point, because I know that Brittany has been requesting me get more cowbell on here, and I think that might be why she's kind of protesting showing up in the shows, because there's no cowbell. We need more cowbell. And I think before she will join the stream again, I have to get her more cowbell. So I'm just going to have to get off my ass and do that. Get on my ass? That wouldn't make any sense. But yeah. Yeah, I know this looks a little bit weird. Why am I running it this far out? And that's just, I'm just giving myself a little bit extra. Kind of run around this way. And the reality is that, you know, we're going to kind of bring it over this way because we're going to extend it out even further. So these will kind of support the first set of them, and then eventually we'll have to have more smelters here to support the extra set. I know it looks like a really weird configuration, but that's only because I forgot to bring more planetary logistics with me. But I'll do that next time. Oh well. But yeah, you can see that there is definitely some being picked up. It's being requested from the planet, so the planet is sending logistics vessels out here. We did drop some in here, so we can just grab these out of here. And because these things require so much damn power, like watch, I'll just drop one in there and you'll just see how much power it takes. Well, that is, it's going to take the power as soon as it launches. So as soon as it has enough, let's see, what's the carrying capacity of these? These are 400. Yeah, that should be enough to immediately use that and kind of take off. Huh. That should have done it, but it didn't, so I don't know. Oh well. This should now get us a lot more capacity for this highly refined silicon. You're going to shoot me into the sun? Yes. Fire me into the sun. Twice. Just to be sure. Okay, just running this down a little bit further. And that should be plenty of smelters for right now. And that'll give us a pretty good boost. And, you know, right now this is really the only thing that we are smelting on this planet. So, you know, we don't really need that power for much more than just this right now. Eventually we'll come back, we'll set up some titanium smelting if we need it. But as of right now, I don't think we do, because we do have some decent capacity on the planet. Or on the other, the lava planet, essentially. Yeah, I know I need power on these. I'll get to that in just a second. Come on, power. Let's go. Put it in place. There you go. Yay, yay, yay. And... come on. Let's go. Power. Yay. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, yeah, I'm actually going to build this over a little bit more because I wasn't sure if this one actually would get electricity connected or not. And there we go. Almost done. I'm not going to extend this out any further because there's really no point, because we're just not going to be using enough of that capacity right now. And we'll just start running into, you know, issues of just trying to get all that raw material here. And, yeah. Okay, let's refill up on some of our energetic graphite. And let our bots come through, do their thing. And there we go. A little more raw material coming down. And that should, you know, fill up the rest of this. And obviously, you know, I kind of put it to the halfway point instead of bringing it all the way around because these logistics belts are just not fast enough. I mean, yeah, I can split this up into multiple logistics belts. Like, I'm sure there's a way more efficient way to do this. There is. I mean, if I just did the math and figured out how many of these belts will support blah. But guess what? I'm way too lazy for that. I just want to click things. But yeah, you can see this works just as fine. You know, you could put a little splitter here and, you know, drop some in there if you really need to. But, and And there's a pretty good chance we might have to do that because it looks like it's just not really getting down there enough. Because these belts are not very fast. Yeah, we're going to set up a splitter right here. It just helps bring it, make it a little bit more consistent. Oh yeah, so after my stream tonight, I'm going to go back and play a little bit more Xbox Series X. I got one on Friday. Was very happy to finally get one, and I actually have to give a shout out to this person that I found on Twitter that was doing some. Let's see if I can find their name in here. There's a ton of different people that are doing this. I mean, you don't have to use this one particular person. They're called Wario64. But they post like all these different deals. They post, when like different, Target or Amazon or whoever else, it has Xbox or PS5 going up for sale. And so yeah, I saw one of their posts about it. I went through and grabbed it, and that was it. I got it pretty quickly, and yeah, I know I did the finance thing. I didn't technically need to. I could have just bought it out of pocket, but it does come with like the like 2 years of the I forget what the hell they call it. But basically, there's a bunch of games you get on there for free and stuff, and there was a bunch of games on there I wanted to play, so I was like, all right, whatever, who cares? Like, I'll have it paid off in like a month or two. So actually, I could pay off the whole thing right off the bat, but I wanted to see if I can build a little bit more additional credit from it, so I was going to pay it off in a few months or something like that, and I just have to double check to make sure it's not one of these companies that charge you for paying something off early, because that is a problem, and it is something to keep an eye out if you are ever trying to get financing for something. There are companies that will charge you a kind of a penalty for paying it off early, because let's face it, they want you to pay the interest. And it was like a 0 APR for a certain number of months or a certain period of time, and I just have to go through and double check that. But if it does look like a really crappy deal, I just haven't had a chance to look at it. I really should have did it before they shipped it out to me, but let's face it, I have a 30-day return window and I can return it. But yeah. Anyway, okay, so it looks like we're doing good here. Yeah, I think we're doing really great with this, and we can see we have some kind of going back and forth now. I'm going to take the rest of these that I have here. Whoops, not that. Put that back. Take the rest of the logistics vessels that I have here, drop it in place so they can kind of go back and forth. During our next trip here, we'll set up some more of these smelters for something additional. Let's see, are these actually getting behind? Yeah, some of these are getting a little bit behind because these belts are not fast enough to get all that material out. Rather than these back up, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to set up a second one right next to it. And I know this looks like a little bit weird of a setup, but it's kind of a temporary one. And we'll just do that to get some of this extra material out of here. Put it on there. This way it has enough, bandwidth to kind of drop everything in place. We're not going to put a lot of them, just like, 2 or 3 of them, kind of sprinkle along. It's kind of the problem with creating a really long line like this. I just like to do it because it just looks cool, But there we go. Yeah, now it's starting to take that extra amount out. And let's see, how many do we have? Yeah, we got a good amount going into storage, and those will be requested, and they'll keep going back and forth and such, and it'll be awesome. Okay, let's head back to the planet. And you can see it right there. It would be nice to be able to say, like, if you could say, hey, just fly my ass to Planet X, and it just does its thing, some kind of automated system. I'm sure they'll add something like that in the future, but right now it's, kind of manual with that. And when we get back to the planet, we're going to start working on getting our Dyson swarm up and going, which is something I really want to try to accomplish for the stream. And in order to make those, we're going to need, so we have some of the graphene. We're good on that. These, what the heck are they called? these things right here, photon combiners. That was another reason why I started creating those circuit boards, is because I already have those prisms, so we just need to set those up to start assembling, and then we'll be able to create our solar cells. So that'll actually be pretty easy. That part I'm not worried about. We'll be able to create like one or two of those things that are basically like rail guns that are going to shoot out part of the swarm, and then we'll set up one of these ray receivers, which do require a good number of resources. We aren't creating these super magnetic rings just yet. That is something that we should automate. I don't know if we're going to be able to automate that this particular episode or not. I guess we'll kind of find out if we have time for that or not. I'll probably be streaming till about 9 tonight. I don't think I'll be going past 9 tonight. But right off the bat, I think we're making some really great progress. But most of that is because, I spent some time this week working on it. Well, okay. It's kind of a lie. It's kind of a half lie. I did most of it earlier today, way before the stream. So, because it was one of those, I meant to do it earlier in the week, and oopsies. I was busy with work, and I've got this other side project I'm working on right now that I can't really talk too much about, but it's for a friend of mine. And so that's been taking up a lot of my time as well. There we go, kind of crash land. I love that, just like flying a kilometer per second directly into the planet. Because hey, what could possibly go wrong with doing that? All right, so what are we out of? Oh, we're out of circuit boards, so we'll just drop a few more of these in place. Let that continue to create more of these. That's awesome. And cool, so let's grab some of these foundations because I keep forgetting to grab it while we're here. Let's have a little bit of extra of that on us. And you can see over here we're kind of creating our prisms. Creating our prisms here, and then we need the electronic components, I think. Is that what we needed? Yeah, prisms, electronic components in order to make photon combinators. But we're also going to need to be able to create a couple planetary logistics stations. Now, I will want to automate these. I don't have that automated just yet, but that'll be an after the stream thing I'm going to do. Because like automating some of that stuff is not particularly exciting for the stream itself. So, yeah. That's why I've been moving towards doing some of that stuff after the stream, because so I could do it at my leisure. People don't get bored just sitting there watching me just work on some of the most mundane stuff. It's a little more exciting to see me building some of the cool stuff and flying interplanetary and cue Beastie Boys intergalactic planetary. Oh my god, yeah, that's showing my age. Looks like these definitely have no more veins underneath them, which I kind of expected. And you can see we're down to the end of these. This is the stage of the game where we start using a lot more planetary planetary logistics, because it's easier just to mine them at different parts of the planet. You have different areas that you do your smelting. You have different areas that you assemble different things, and then you just make that available to the network. Kind of a very modular interface where, you just grab things as needed from the network, and it's so much easier to support and maintain. But until you have that, it's just very difficult. Of course, you don't want to go too overboard with it, because it actually does make things a little bit more difficult if you don't really plan it. If you just have things that are just kind of spread all over the planet, it'll work, but, it won't exactly be super fast because it has to fly a long distance in order to just do some really basic things. So let's see, we are putting I thought we were putting the green circuits in here, or the circuit boards. We should be. Yep, there we go. Okay, we got 5,000 of them in there. Great. You can see that our high purity silicon is coming in a lot faster now. It's coming at a pretty good rate. You can see all these things are kind of backed up, which is awesome, because that means that we have produced a lot of these. That is amazing. Let's see here. And in this, we have our, we've got a ton of processors that have been finished being created. That is also awesome because we're going to need a ton of those, trust me. Actually, I'm just going to scale this out a little bit further and let that create up a couple more of those. A few more stacks of those processors could not hurt. I'm not going to say no to that. We're not going to need them right now, but, we'll definitely need them later. And add one more for the sulfur. There are sulfur oceans out there that we're going to go out and seek out at some point. But right now, we don't need them. And we don't really have the warp engines anyway, so there's not much we could do with that. And I did find out accidentally that the game, they will not let you fly outside of your solar system without warp engines. Even though, it'll say, oh yeah, it'll take you 1 hour to get there without it. It gets to a certain point where you just kind of, slow down, and it just, makes you, kind of come back. It's really... I get why they do it, but, I kind of had a good laugh about that. They were just doing it to prevent an exploit. Oh, hold on 1 second. The new keyboard I bought, because somebody who shall remain anonymous spilled stuff on their keyboard. With this Razer keyboard, it came with this nice little, thing that you put your, little armrest for making your wrist not hurt so much. And the really nice thing is it's got lights underneath it, so that's kind of cool. Because everybody should know me now. I like sparkly things, I like glittery things, and I like RGB lights. I want to make it look like a unicorn threw up everywhere. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, seriously, if you don't like unicorns, unicorn vomit everywhere, then why are you here? It's great. All right, so let's see. Let's start actually working on these photon combinators. Let's see here. I think we're going to build it out right about here. Yeah, this looks like a good spot to kind of build it. One of the games I had done, I really separated my things that I was building for part of my mall, completely separate from the things that I was building for just general use towards science and everything else. So I don't quite have that in this game. So I normally wouldn't build that really close to our mall. It is possible that I might go back to that kind of method at some point, so I'm going to try not to build it too close there. But, there's pros and cons to using that particular method, but that's okay. So let's see, photon combinators are going to be, gotta get some green circuits over here. So let's go ahead and request those. So we're going to, inside of our planetary logistics station, we're going to tell that we're going to go from supply to demand. And then it will reach out to the network and say, hey, where are these things? And it will go out and grab those. But since we have no logistics drones here, and we have no logistics drones in the remote one, that means it's basically going to do exactly nothing. Which is not particularly useful. So let's see. Let's drop, we produced a couple of those. See, drop those in place, and they go out and they start grabbing some stuff. These can only grab 50 at a time. Let's see, do we have any upgrades for that yet? To do the regular planetary ones? I don't think we do. I think we went through as many of these as we can. Yeah, I think this requires purple. Yeah. Oh well, we can't upgrade those right now. Can't upgrade our veins any further. Don't really need to go with that. Vertical construction. Don't want to waste resources on that just yet. Drone drive. Nah, not really going to use the resources on that right now. Yeah, it looks like we've got as much of the upgrades as we're going to do for right now. Solar cell lifetime we'll probably want to do at some point. Maybe I'll do that off stream. But yeah, it looks like there's really not much in the terms of upgrades that we need right now. Or new things to build. A lot of these new things that we're going to build, these are actually really nice. But in order to create those, yeah, there's a lot of things we need in there that we just do not have automated yet. So we're just going to let our network go ahead and just build a lot of these. As you can see right now, we only have 703 in storage right now. So I'm just going to let them make up the 10,000 of them. I'm probably not going to do any more research during this stream. Might do a little bit off the stream, but or next time. But yeah. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was going to get some more iron. Oh my god, I got so sidetracked here. I swear my ADD is so bad these days. Oh my god, I can't keep track of anything. Plus, as I'm grabbing my, where the hell is my iron? It's around here somewhere. Plus, as I'm like moving my microphone, I'm remembering like, oh yeah, I wanted to buy a new mic thingy here, and I keep forgetting about it. Looks like we don't have. I don't have really any iron in a separate thing. I thought I did, but I guess I don't. So just like I did with this thing here, I'm just going to set up another one of these, which is just going to be a one-off, saying, okay, if I need any iron, I can just kind of come grab it out of this. I guess I don't really need a full-size one of these, but I'm just going to set up because that's what I already did here for this. And if I ever need a ton of this material, I'll just, you know, feed it back into itself. It's no big deal. But there we go. You can see it's building up a bunch of those. But that will allow us to kick off a bunch of these. This will be another thing that I will automate, is creating these, you know, these drones and creating the logistics vehicle. That was another big thing that I did in my main game, and let me tell you, it has made life so much easier. Hi, PJ. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. Missed you on Wednesday. But there we go. Let's see here. Okay, heading back over here where our... let's see, we're going to put... I guess we'll put 6 in there. That's good, yeah. Perfect. And then the other part of that will be these prisms, which we'll just get from there. And, yeah, we're going to probably get rid of these wind turbines right here because they're just going to be in the way. We'll just kind of move those over here for right now. I don't actually really need these right now, but, you know, they're here, so whatever. Okay, that was all of them. And let's see here. This prism's kind of coming around that way here. And, yeah, I guess actually I'll just pull right out of this now. Can't do that. This thing's in the way. Okay, I guess we'll just kind of snake it around through the back this way. I want to give myself a little bit of room here in the event that I need to kind of snake that back around. There we go. Kind of go over the top here. Get rid of that little bit of extra there. Extra, extra. Don't read about it. There we go. Bring in some of this. Oh, wait, is this mixed? Oh, never mind. The light was hitting it in a weird way, so it looked like... So, yeah, you can see right here, like, it threw me off because I'm like, oh, crap, did I accidentally mix two things together? And no, it wasn't that. It was just, yeah, just the way that it looked there. All right, good. I was a little worried there for a second. I was like, uh-oh, did I mess it up? Okay, here we go. Grab some of these circuit boards out. Now we can start dropping some assembly machines. And part of, let's see, part of creating these solar cells will also be this graphene. Which, where is the graphene? But these, let's see, I think that these photon combinators, I think they're used for multiple things. One of the great things about this game is that if you click on an item, it will tell you the different things that it can be used to make. So you can see this will both make ray receivers and it will make solar cells. So because of that, what I'm debating is, do I want to feed this directly back into this logistics network, or do I want to, you know, kind of just drop it in a storage bin? And I think what I am going to do is drop it in the logistics, back into the logistics network, because it gives me the flexibility to move part of the operations somewhere else later. And having that flexibility is actually really nice. So let's go ahead and get this first one hooked up. And once that's hooked up and powered on and start producing, we'll start to scale this out a little bit further. And there we go. Now we're starting to produce those. Yep, there we go. Perfect. Now we can scale this out a lot further. So we'll scale it out a good amount. I mean, I'm not going to go too overboard with it just yet. Because remember, we're going to try to, build up just enough scaffolding to get us to the next point so we can start actually producing the solar sails. Because once we have this in place and then we have the graphene, which we're already producing, we're going to start combining those together, and then we have to make our ejector rails and a bunch of other things put together. Come on, bots, do your thing. Let's go. PJ, would you like to be the official cheerleader for the show? Get you some pom-poms so you just can, let's go. Would you do that for me, PJ? I'll give you a banana suit if you do that. I'll buy you a new banana suit. How about that? I actually wouldn't need the banana suit. I would just need I would just need some Jaeger, and he'll totally do it. Either that or maybe some Fireball. I don't know what his drink of choice these days is. Be careful of windmills, they cause cancer. Yeah, no. Sorry, PJ, no, you fail. You've been living in Ohio too long. PJ, come back to San Francisco. Like the Jerky Boys, Pablo, come back to Florida. Alright, let's get these kind of connected up. Cool. And now those are producing. Excellent. They're not producing a real hell of a lot very fast, but that's okay because we're not gonna really go too overboard just yet with the solar sails. We're just trying to get some basic production in them going. Then we have our graphene down here. And since we do have a planetary logistics over here, we're going to tie into that one. We're going to say, get me some of these photocombinators. Set it to demand, and it will start bringing those down. Perfect. Put a couple logistics drones in there, and they can now both work together at grabbing all these components that they need. And let's take that and put our photocombiner. What the hell are these things called? The names in this game is so weird. Photocombiner. So many weird names for things. Okay, we got our graphene over here, so we're going to have to kind of sneak ourselves up over that way. And I know there were some people that were complaining about Twitch on the Xbox and stuff. Now that I have an Xbox again, I can go ahead and test that out and see if I can figure out what's going on with that. I do have to set up a secondary. I do have a test stream set up because unfortunately, the way that I have OBS configured right now, it's kind of a pain in the ass. But I think I might have to just create a whole brand new profile on a completely different user on my computer. Because the way that OBS is set up, like it's really tied to my Twitch account right now, and it's a real pain in the ass to kind of split them off, unfortunately. So it's difficult for me to launch a test stream that nobody sees. That's only for the purposes of testing some of this crap out. But the good news is that now that I do have a new Xbox, at least I can test it with, oops, I didn't mean to put that there. But at least I can set up with some of the newer systems to see if that is working. I still have to dig up my old Fire tablet. What the hell did they call it? Whatever the hell they were called. But I do have one of those. It's not Fire Stick. It's Amazon created these tablets, Android-based tablets a while back. Anyway, whatever the hell they were called. I can't think of the name of them. I do have one. About like 6 years ago or something like that. I won it in a contest. It was like a raffle or something like that. And I was like, okay, sure. It was actually my first Android tablet. But I do want to run some tests on that. I just have to dig it up. I don't know where the hell I put it. But yeah, I know there has been some people complaining about the stream itself not working correctly on some of those devices, and I think it's because I'm using an ultra wide. I'm streaming as an ultra wide, and those platforms just really don't support it. Kindle Fire, thank you, Brittany. That's what it is. Yes, I knew it was something like that. Thank you. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, do I want to, stop streaming this as an ultra wide? Do I just want to move this over to a kind of standard kind of setup? I guess I could. I do need a new second monitor because that one kind of died. So that's also been kind of part of my motivation of like thinking about these things, like how am I going to handle that? And especially after like destroying another keyboard recently, I've also been thinking like, okay, maybe it's also time to just redo the way that I have my desk set up. But as part of that, I've been thinking like, okay, yeah, I need to buy a new monitor. Maybe it's time to stop streaming ultra wide if that'll make things a little bit easier. But then that also does mean that I have to change the resolution for my stream, which is, I mean, it's kind of tedious to have to do that. To have to remember to do that each stream. So, yeah, but these are some things that are still currently on my mind, and if these are things that have been affecting you, fear not, I have not forgotten about it. I just have not gotten back to it yet. One thing I'm definitely going to do different this time. In my other game, I just, set up my ejectors just kind of wherever. This time I'm going to set up the ejectors a little bit more towards the poles. Well, the first set of them, I should say. I'll set up towards the poles. And let's go ahead and get that producing now. So it looks like we're going to need some iron or steel beams, and then we'll need a bunch of magnets. Magnets, how do they work? I guess I really should set this up as logistics as well to drop off the solar cells so I can put them anywhere I need to. Let's see, do I have room on this? No, I don't. I already used up as much as I can on that. That's alright, I'll just set up another one of these here. There we go. And then I'll just set up another logistics setup towards the pole. And that will, I guess we can grab some of those processors as well. There we go. Now we're starting to build some of those cells. Another few minutes, we'll be able to get that up and going. It's kind of exciting. And by kind of, I mean completely exciting. Because this is like pretty much the core part of the name of the game. I mean, this is the Dyson Swarm. This is just the first part of the Dyson Sphere. But we'll be able to get that up and going really soon. So let's see, we need to build a bunch of those, which is going to require the magnets, which I don't really have. So do we have those being produced over here somewhere? We're producing them, but I don't really... This is something I'll have to set up a remote setup for because... crap. I mean, I guess I could... Just trying to figure out the easiest way to grab some of these. I'll just grab some of these, the raw materials out of there and just build these by hand. That's fine. It's an easy, lazy way to do that. Hi.
Hey.
Brittany has appeared.
A wild Brittany.
A wild Brittany has appeared. Hi, wild Brittany. How are you doing?
Good.
You bored with my stream now?
No.
I'm just giving you crap.
Don't do that. That gets messy.
That's true, yeah. Brittany does not want me giving her crap because it gets messy, and I'm going to go ahead and agree with her on that. Not that I have any personal hands-on knowledge of that. I'm just going to say that for the record.
Hey, don't make it sound like I'm some kind of pervert. I have kids.
Yeah, she has kids, so it's not like this isn't her being perverted this time. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Brat.
Brat. She's always calling me a brat for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, it's as if she thinks I'm like a brat or something. I mean, she might be right on that, but I mean, what?
Uh-huh.
I didn't just admit that I'm a brat. There's no way. I couldn't possibly do something like that. Just gonna grab a little bit more of this iron out of here. That'll give us just enough magnets. I swear, every time I say magnets, I just have to sit there and say, how do they work? Thanks, ICP, for, completely warping my brain with that. Okay, there we go. Producing enough of those. And we should be able to... Oh, let's just go grab a couple of steel beams. Which are around here somewhere. I know I'm producing a bunch of those. Oh, here we go. I know I had a bunch of them over here. Not producing enough. We will have to set up some... that'll actually be something for after the stream. I'll be setting up some off planets production of those steel beams. And let's see here, so we can start building one of those, and we will need some more planetary logistics. And of course, we ran out of titanium again very quickly, which I kind of expected, but this will be another thing I need to automate. PJ, does it sound like I'm too close to my mic, or how does it sound to you? Because I'm still trying to dial that in. I feel like, because sometimes I could tell that I was talking a little bit too close, and I did back off from it a bit, and I feel like this is probably a better level of it right now. But I am curious about your input on that. Curious about what you hear on your end. And Brittany, of course, if you have any, input on that.
Nope.
You have no input on that?
I have no input on anything.
Brittany says she has no input on anything. And I'm just going to tell you, she's a complete liar.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
You resemble that remark? I plead guilty on the grounds that it might incinerate me.
That as well.
Oh yeah, so some Factorio news. So I was speaking with my manager at work, who actually watches this stream. Hi, Dylan. Was talking about some future plans that I have for this stream, and he was mentioning to me that I think it's Industrial Revolution, which is like a very steampunk style mod. So it's another overhaul mod. They apparently so the short version of it is the developer who was working on it stopped working on it. There was some kind of community drama. I don't know exactly what it was. I don't really care because I'm not going to get into it because it's not my problem. There was some kind of community drama, and he decided to stop working on the mod for a little while because of that drama. However, I guess it was resolved or whatever happened, but it appears that he is now working on it again, which is exciting news because it is a pretty cool looking mod, and it's kind of an overhaul. They fixed a bunch of things, and the exciting news is that it is back. And with that, not next week. I mean, it's probably going to take like 2 weeks before I get it all set up and stuff, but I will be creating a I don't know if it'll be part of my, I'll alternate with my Crash Tutorials stream. I don't know how I'm going to be doing it yet, but we'll be doing a community-based stream or game. And what that means is that, the server will only be running while I'm streaming. But you'll be able to join in and, work on the factory with us. If it is successful and people don't abuse it, it's possible I might leave it up at other hours or have one that's just available to anybody to come join and play around with. But of course, if people abuse it, that will be an issue. And I'm going to send Brittany to your house, and you don't want that. Because she will fire you out of a cannon into the sun.
Yes.
Twice. But yeah, so it sounds like kind of a cool thing. We might do it. And, but stay tuned, or stay tuned. I don't know. tune, numbers, words.
Brain.
Yeah. But yeah, stay tuned for that. And, like, subscribe, and, all the usual things to keep an eye out for that. And guess what we're getting set up? We're getting our first ejector rail setup. So that's exciting. So here's the interface for our Dyson Sphere. Now there are two different parts of it. You have your Dyson Sphere, which we don't actually have yet. We don't have the research or anything in order to start creating that, so ignore that for right now. Then we have our Dyson Swarm. The Dyson Swarm is what we're going to be creating first. Those are those solar sails that I talked about earlier. And you can have multiple orbits of them, but this first little ring around, that is going to be the first orbit that we're going to create. You can see right now we're generating, well, nothing, because there's no Dyson Sphere there, or Dyson Swarm. But we're going to first select this thing, and you can select which orbit you want to shoot into. You can see how many sails you have in total, and, so on and so forth. So we're going to first connect this in. We're going to give this some power, and as soon as this has some power, it's going to load up. It's going to, we have to select which one we want it to go to. And there you go. And now what it's going to do is it's going to find the sun. It's going to find where that band is, and it's just going to start shooting these sails out there. And when we go to this interface again, you can start seeing those sails being shot out, and they just kind of land right in that little orbit. And they don't last forever. They do have a finite life period. I don't know where the hell to see that. I swear there was a way to see it, but whatever. So eventually there'll just be this ring around. What?
Lifespan.
Well, I know there's a lifespan, but...
Finite lifespan, yeah.
Yeah, finite lifespan. But I was just saying, like, there's an interface for it. I can't remember where.
Oh, I misunderstood.
Ah, got it. She's being so cute over there. So, but yeah, you can see, like, initially, they're not generating much power. 541 kilowatts. I mean, Jesus Christ, you can power up a toaster on that.
1.21 gigawatts.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like about a toaster oven here. That's okay. We're going to let this thing keep firing. Keep firing, assholes. And we'll set up one more of these. Let that keep going. And we're setting it up at the pole. This way it can keep firing that as much as it can. Now, it has reached its pitch limit. It can only go a certain pitch, because remember, it has to lead where it's going to fire. So it has to make sure that it can only fire within a certain range and at a certain angle. As soon as we give this power, it will immediately zero in on where it has to fire at. See, there it goes. But it has hit a pitch limit, and you can see that it is tracking, and it's trying to keep an eye on where it needs to actually fire. And then as soon as it gets beyond that tracking limit, or that pitch limit, then it will start firing them again. But you can see the target pitch angle, and it's like currently 1 degree. As soon as it goes within that 1 degree, these will start firing again. And... well, it didn't. Okay. I thought that was a countdown to where it needed to be, but apparently it's got a little longer to go. That's okay. So let that thing keep going through and just, firing those out as it needs to. And, of course, we'll build out more of these. Now, as the sphere starts to form, we will also create some additional kind of orbits. So I'll make one more, and I'll just kind of show you my process of how I create another orbit, because I am super anal about this. I just kind of like to make it look really cool. I know that's what she said. So what I'm doing is I'm going to the 180 to 0 right there, and I'm trying to line these up the best I can. We're going to set the orbit radius to right about the same orbit radius as the other one. Saying too close to planet orbit, but because there's a planet there, I'm going to set the inclination to right about 90-degree angle. Perfect. Set the latitude or longitude, which is right to the 360. That's going to be exactly where we are right now, so it's perfect. And then we're going to kind of do an overhead to figure out the radius, because I want the radius to be about the same as this orbit here. So we're going to reduce that orbit a little bit further. It doesn't have to be perfect. These cannot overlap exact anyway. These will be used until our Dyson sphere is a little bit more in place. And, let's make this 11,300. Make that a nice even number. I'm going to write that number down too, so when we create the next orbit, it'll just, it'll be easy. Oh, can I have my pen back that you stole from me? Brittany stole my pen from me. I'm calling and telling.
Here you go.
Thank you. I just want to show. I asked for my pen back. She hands me my pen. In pieces for some reason. I don't know why. Is there a reason why it's in pieces? Okay, so she broke my pen. Great. I will beat her later for it. Giggity, giggity, giggity. And that's a consensual beating, by the way. And she's jumping in the corner saying, "Yay!" So yeah, 11,300 will be our orbit radius. There we go. Cool. And so we're going to hit create on that. And that will be our next little kind of spot. And then eventually we'll create another one kind of going, a 45-degree angle there. You don't have to. I just do it because it looks cool. That's about it. And then over time, you will start, you can actually start seeing the sphere or the swarm a little bit. They don't last forever. We don't want to create a whole ton of those just yet because it's kind of a waste right now. Because we don't have anything that's intercepting that. And that's what we're going to go create now, which is going to be our ray receiver. And we definitely need some components for that. So let's go ahead and pick up a bunch of the things that we need in order to create that. I don't know how much of this we're going to need, so we're just going to grab a couple stacks of things, because we need to have it on us anyway. I mean, the goal is that we're not going to keep creating stuff by hand all the time, but for right now we kind of have to. I think we can grab a couple of these out of here. Perfect. There should be another thing I should actually have put into a storage bin that I can just grab it out as needed. That's something we'll do as we go to grab these other items. And we need more magnets again. What a shock. We definitely have to, automate the creation of these magnets, because that's going to be get really annoying really fast having to do that. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and create this one off a little storage, so at least we can have some of these that we can just grab out as we need to. Okay, and let's see, I'm going to take these solar, we don't need those solar cells on us right now, but that's okay. And let's see, can we create that yet? No, we still need a bunch more of those. We need some more magnets. And let's see, I think we went over, yeah, last time we just grabbed a bunch of iron ore out of here and just let it, oh, I didn't even connect this, that's why. There we go. Should actually create some magnets off this here. Yeah, I think I will actually do that, just because we currently need to grab a bunch of magnets, and it's a pain in the neck to have to keep creating these. So I think for right now, I'll just do kind of a temporary setup where I have, yeah, I'll just do, yeah, this will be fine for now. Don't really need that many, but just as long as we have some of them being dropped in a bin, then I can grab some out as I need. And we're going to want to improve the creation of those later, which I will do off stream. Because again, after the stream, I'm getting back to working on or playing my new Xbox Series X. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying before. So what game am I playing currently? I am playing Gears Tactics. I do love those turn-based games. I love XCOM. I'm a huge, huge fan of XCOM. So I was pretty excited to see it. I mean, I'll be honest with you, like, I kind of fell out of... Oh, wait. No, I don't want to create those. Why am I creating these? I kind of fell out of, playing one on the Xbox for a long time. So I didn't even know that Gears Logistics came out. I'll just be honest with you, I never really got into the Gears games to begin with, but Gears Logistics, or Gears Tactics, has been fun so far. So I've been enjoying it, and I'll just keep playing that a bit. But you know what? I'll beat the game, and I'll just move on to another game. And it's luckily one of those games that's included with the Game Pass, whatever the hell it's called. There's several games on there that I'm going to play just because I never got around to playing them, even if I don't complete them, or just put them on like the lowest settings so I can just kind of blow through them really fast and kind of move on to the next game. Hey now, family friendly stream.
You're the one saying it, not me.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. That's what I just said.
Brittany's giving me crap for saying things.
Oh no, I don't do that. It's too messy.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot. Okay, so here we go. Now we can set up this thing right here. This is our array receiver. And this is going to grab some power from our Dyson Swarm. And we'll be able to start using that. Now, of course, our Dyson Swarm currently is pretty tiny. It's 722 kilowatts, so I think we can power like a small toaster at this point. Okay, maybe 10 toasters, but it's not a lot. But that's all right, because as we start launching more of these solar cells, the stronger it will get. And but now that we have that in place, we can go ahead and tell it to, we can start creating a couple more of these. And I guess actually that's probably not a bad idea to go ahead and do that now. So we'll create a couple more of these. Like, crap, I should have had that automated. Oh well. Guess we'll fly back while it's creating those. And yeah. But we'll also want to have another one of these kind of at the, let's see. How another one of these at the is it the southern pole? Because yeah, right now the northern pole is kind of like, it's in a weird position. So maybe shooting these off from the pole might not actually be the best bet. I don't know. This is the first time I'm doing it that way. In the other games, I just had it firing from like another random point. Planet spins around, it fires for a few seconds, and it stops. So just keeps them maintained. Let's see, how many solar cells have we created so far? Yeah, we created a pretty good amount of them. Or we're creating them at a pretty good rate, I should say. I don't know how many of them we've actually created. We got 3,400 in storage. That's good, because that'll maintain it for a little while. Yeah, I really want to automate these magnets and automate these rails and a bunch of other things, because that'll take forever and ever and ever and ever and ever for those things to build. And we don't got time for that. We don't got time for that. Yeah, it's a little bit faster. Sorry, one second. Oh my god, I hate it when that happens. I got like a little, like, I breathed something in. Must have been some like cat hair or something like that. I hate it when I do that. Do you know how often that happens? Way too much. That's what happens when you own cats, though. Just gotta deal with it. Anyway. Okay, so let's see. How much more can we do on this before we call it a night? We're coming up on 9 o'clock here, so I don't know how much more we'll be able to go. Because I definitely want to get back to playing some Xbox. And plus, we're going to be watching Coming to America 2 tonight. We watched the first one last night, and probably going to, either tonight or tomorrow. I'm not sure if we're going to do that or not, but have somebody else coming over tonight, and we're going to be playing, oh god, what was that Mario game we're playing, Brittany?
I don't know. It was a Super Mario game, I'm sorry.
We're playing one of these new Super Mario games. It's like 3D something or other. I don't know. It came out on Switch not too long ago. So we're playing that with me, Brittany, and Sayoko. And we're having fun with it. It's fun. We're playing 3 players, and so it's kind of cool that we could do it at the same time. So that's kind of fun. We won't be doing that on stream because we're just doing that and just kind of hanging out and just being silly and gay. The usual shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just kind of taking a look around to see what else we can kind of set up here. And I think that I will go ahead and create up another logistics that we can set up on the other end of the planet. So we can start firing from the other end of the planet. Actually, kind of thinking about it, I'm not sure if I really do like firing it from the poles because I'm not sure if we're able to fire it the whole time or not, or if we have a lot of empty times where we're just not firing. Well, yeah, you can see we're up to, 6.8 megawatts now. We got 191 of these cells. However, I am going to go ahead with that upgrade now and say that we want to increase the... Oh, here it is. This is where it is. Got it. Okay. So solar life cycle right now is 180 seconds. So that's 40... What?
180 seconds is 3 minutes.
That,
60
3
seconds?
minutes? No, it's longer than that.
180 seconds. Just
No,
30.
1,800 seconds.
Oh, so it'd be 30.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, because 1 hour is 3,600. Yeah, yeah. Epoch time. So I said epoch time, and Brittany just looked at me like I had 6 heads. She's just starting to learn coding. She doesn't know epoch time yet. Anyway, so yeah, 30 minutes. So we're going to increase this another 150 seconds. So that's good. So it's an extra 2 minutes out of it. It's not a lot, but it's better than nothing. You could also increase the amount of dissipation that you get because you don't get 100% utilization. I mean, if your Dyson swarm is 1 gigajoule, or for example, you're not getting 1 gigajoule out of it. You're only getting a small percentage of that. But yeah, now we're up to 1950, so that's great. We cannot go any further with that until we... Wait, why can't we research that one right now? Should be able to. Oh, because I went to the wrong one, that's why. But yeah, it is worth to invest in the solar life cycle pretty early on because it does save you a lot of resources, and we will actually want to get a little bit more of this efficiency as well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let's head to the other pole. Let's head to the southern pole now, and we'll set up another... Wait, let's see. Which way am I firing from? It was the North Pole, right? Yeah. So yeah, we'll set up another one of these firing positions from the South Pole. Or other pole. I'm mixing poles up now. From the other pole, the other side. And we'll use this one for firing at the other ring. So you can see now, you can start seeing our Dyson swarm is starting to populate a little bit. You can actually see that kind of swinging around. And we'll set up another one of these here. Set up another logistics. We'll grab a couple of solar cells down here. Or sails, not cells, sails. And we're going to demand, but this time instead of demanding all 5,000, we're going to demand half of that. And this way we can kind of balance it out a little bit more, because otherwise we're going to have to produce a crap load of these to be able to support both of it, which definitely could cause a little bit of an issue. But let's see, let's drop that out there. Did I grab any logistics? There we go, cool. We don't have enough in storage right now to demand that, but I'm going to have to go to the other pole to reduce that amount. But let's go ahead and get this connected at least. Once we get this connected, I think that will be the conclusion of tonight's stream. But with this one, obviously, we're going to set it to the second one, which is going to be our second kind of loop. That'll be our up and down kind of loop. I don't know what else you want to call it that, but yeah. You can't put these too close to each other, unfortunately. You have to give it a little bit of room. I mean, they do need to have a little bit of room to fire. I mean, it kind of makes sense. And we're only going to set up, I guess we can create one more of these. Because, yeah, then we'll have 3 on each. And then as we create more of these, you know, more orbits, we'll add more of these. You know, we'll add like 2 to 3 per. Still not bringing those down, so let's go head over to the other pole. So we can reduce the number of solar sails heading up to the other one. Because otherwise it's going to have no way to break them up. Now this is also another thing I'm doing different. Is that in the other game I'm playing, I don't have these split up. I actually just have it firing from one position, so that's another thing that's going to be different. But the great thing is that, you know, now with that swarm in place, we'll be able to create these receivers, and we'll be able to put them on another, whoopsies. We'll be able to put them in on another planet, and we can generate more power from it. So it's not like you're limited to how much power you can generate on each one of these. Oh, well, yeah, as you can see that we're pretty, we're basically leeching all of them on the other one. Okay, so we only have 2 here. That's okay. We can leave it like that for now. And eventually, oh, looks like I need power. Crap. I haven't grabbed any from storage in a while now. Whoopsies. Let's go grab some of that energetic graphite before we run out of power. Whoopsies. Didn't mean to grab that much of it. There we go. That'll hold us over. Especially while you're flying around a lot. It takes a lot of power, let me tell you. I'm surprised the other one hasn't started firing yet, but I guess it's just not in sight yet. It's also possible that this particular planet is just not set up very well to support that. They are en route at least, which is good, so we'll find out pretty quickly whether it's actually in range or not. It's also possible that different times of the year, it'll be north or south firing more often. Okay, those are dropping in place now. Ah, my nose is itching so much tonight. Anyway, so yeah, now you can see these are firing, so that's now going to fire at the other direction. See now that other loop's going to start getting in place. And between the 2 of these on the planet, we should have I'm hoping we have a pretty consistent amount of these firing at different parts of the year. Now, of course, it would be good to kind of separate these out a little bit so they're actually around the pole a little bit further. Yeah, you can see those firing out now. Kind of going in place. Cool. There we go. All right. So I think that is where we're going to end it tonight. And yeah, please do me the huge favor. Like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch. If you're following me on Twitch, please follow me also or subscribe to me also on YouTube. And vice versa. If you are only following me on YouTube, please grab me on Twitch as well. You could find links for my YouTube and Twitch. And on YouTube, I think I have links to Twitch. If not, I'm going to probably beat myself up for not having it, and I really should. So I'll definitely get on correcting that at some point soon. So, yeah. Still working on the blog. Haven't finished it. Did not get very far on it. I've had this other project I've really had to complete this week, so I'm working on it over the next couple of weeks, so I'm going to be kind of busy on that at the same time. But yeah, so please like, subscribe, share it around, all those things, and I will see you on Wednesday, where we're going to come back to some Factorio. And no, it will not be the community Factorio yet, but hopefully I'll have a little bit more news for you on that. If not this week, then it may be next week. It's just another project I got to get up and going. I have the server ready to go. I have all the stuff set up, ready to go. I just have to kind of finish the setup and stuff and, kind of figure out exactly how I want to manage it and whatnot and how we want to do the stream. And Brittany has expressed interest in joining us for that. So that is really super excited. So anyway, thank you very much. And I will see you on Wednesday. Remember, I stream every Wednesday and Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And thank you very much. Bye, my unicorns. Bye.